The irony, right? El más peleonero de todos y le dicen enamorado, bro. The irony of your name. Bro, it couldn't give it to anybody else. It's not a vigilante out there. You know what I mean? It's like the irony, bro. I don't know, man. Okay, so that is your last name,
Yes.
enamorado.
I can show you my license.
No. I believe you. I believe you. And now, wow, that's a tough one, bro. Was there a lot of bullying?
Growing up?
Yeah.
Nah.
No?
People always liked it. And, you know.
Are we good? Yeah. JT? We're live? Very
Oh,
good.
damn.
No. That's how it works,
Right
buddy.
there,
we
right?
we said 6 o'clock. We said 6 o'clock. But I'm glad. I was asking you earlier. I was afraid you were going to get arrested because you were doing something this morning.
Yes, we had a protest today.
You had a protest today. For a lot of you who don't know, Edin, am I pronouncing it correct?
Yes.
Alex Enamorado. That is your full name. Project manager during the day, activist, vigilante, I'll kick your butt at night. That is crazy, bro. Yeah. So what happened this morning? What were you guys doing?
Well, we had a protest we wanted to attend the LA County Board of Supervisors meeting. We want them to change certain laws and code in the Department of Public Health. But they canceled the supervisor meeting last minute, so we just had a small protest. It's a Tuesday, 8 in the morning, so it's not like our usual turnouts, but, people showed up, yeah.
Okay, so just to put people into context, and maybe I can understand a little bit more. What we are trying to change is the laws because they apply to East Coast vendors, right? A lot of is that what you're trying to change? Because I see there's, okay. So what were you there to change?
This is for LA County. So for example, if you're in a lotero, you sell corn, right? In order for you to qualify for these permits, you have to have the Department of Public Health. They say, well, I wouldn't call it a lie, but they say, we give out permits, but it's in order for you to qualify, bro, it's impossible. So, for example, if you're in a lotero, you need to have an industrial kitchen or a commissary. Those are expensive to rent. So, Riverside County, for example, has this thing called Home Enterprise Kitchen, where you can use your kitchen from your house, and you could tell the Department of Public Health, come, look, everything's clean. This is where I prepare my corn. Give me the permit, So, that's what we're trying to change here in LA County.
Oh, okay, okay. So the fact that they wouldn't have to, okay, so now here I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
What happens to public safety? Meaning if they don't have this red tape to obey by, what guarantees me that this elotero is not gonna just grab water from any other source or just not grab any corn? Oh, se echó a perder. No le hace, le sale. We can't. Do you understand? They don't have the means to just throw away a whole bucket of corn.
Right.
So what regulates that from a person consuming corn that's not good anymore?
So it's nothing different than a restaurant. So for example, restaurants have done that. The Department of Public Health will come once a year and inspect, or not once a year, but whenever they want to come and inspect their.
Yeah. Once a year too. If I get sick, I could go back to the source.
Right.
No, the last thing I ate was here.
Right.
So I can report you.
Yeah.
How do I report an elotero that I'll never see maybe ever again? I ate it outside of Dodger Stadium and I'll never see him again.
See, that's the same thing as, for example, going to a barbecue in the park. The cities allow you to cook in the park. You go to a family member or tia, and the studies show, bro, that food poisoning cases come from restaurants and home dining per capita by, I think, 3.7% compared to
I'm not arguing any of that. I'm just talking about, listen, I just want to be able to find out common ground where there are concerns where you go, look, this is not it's not regulated. We can't just let anybody start cooking stuff up and there's nobody to say, hey, because at what point do we say stop? You see this happening in third world countries or developing countries. I'm sorry. In Mexico, they will grab the water straight from the sewage. I mean, literally in Thailand and some of these Asian countries, they'll use sewage oils to cook, the vendors to cook.
Yeah.
So
when I had a meeting with the Department of Public Health, Lisa, she's the director, I told her, hey, what's the problem? Like, we can get an insurance, because I have a union now. We can get an insurance. We'll back it up. $5 million insurance. If you get, for example, like what you said, if you get sick, you can sue us. We'll take care of it, But I told her, why is it that when you have a community event, you give them permits? You don't even go through the whole. So I told her, is it insurance purposes? She goes, no, it's not insurance purposes. It's just state law. If it's under a community event, they'll approve elotero. They won't even go check where he's making the food.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's a risk that we're taking, but I do want that. I want that in the future. I want to, with the Union of Vendors Association, we're going to have insurance backing these vendors up.
Perfect.
So if something happens, then bam.
Yes. Can we lower my headphones a little bit? Just lower my headphones a little bit. It's not him. It's me. There you go. There you go. Great. Good. So, see that I can understand. That I would even back up. I would even say, hey, I wanna donate to the union. Why? Because can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. That way I can make sure that these guys are being taken care of, and the community is being taken care of.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I understand right now they don't have a microphone. You became their microphone. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, you guys are gonna get to a common ground. I know the city will work with you, but that's one of the things I wanted to know what's really going on. So, why did your project manager? What are you doing messing with the vendors, bro? Where did this come from? First of all,
I know, right? So I've been an activist for 13 years, and ya cuando me metí más en la política and managing campaigns and working with Bernie Sanders and stuff like that, my heart is in the streets, bro. You know, I don't think I could ever forget where I come from, and I think especially with the vendors, I see my parents in it. My dad was carjacked in 2018. He's a mechanic. He's not a street vendor, but he's the same thing, bro. You know,
he's a
hardworking, humble. You know,
he's blue collar.
So when that happened to him, and I started seeing more, I was like, all right, we gotta do something. That's why we send out security to South Central with guns, but we're trying to get more, trying to expand more. You know.
Do you want me to? This is weird because I'm glad that social media is what it is. I'm glad that I found you. Because I'm very proud of you, man. I looked at this as a superhero. I look at you as a superhero, and I go like, man. And there's so many questions I'm going to ask, but the fact that there's a voice, there's somebody out there defending these people. Because my dad came from that immigrant family. He snuck into this country, and in the 70s, he said we would go to the liquor store to change our checks, and los mismos morenos, the black guys, would beat us up for our checks. But where would we go? Like if we go to the cops, we get deported.
Right.
We just took it. We just took the punishment, and there was nobody to defend us. And it was just like, dude, we're like coming from Juchipila, Zacatecas. I'm 5'3", 150 pounds, soaking wet. You know what I mean? Like, how the hell do I beat up this big guy here? He's just gonna take my check. So for you to do that, to take your part and go, hey, I'm gonna help these people. Now, nadie te aguanta esto, bro. What does your family say about this? Like, not everybody goes, hey, he's in a protest. Too bad.
My dad thinks I'm going to get killed.
Oh, no, bro. I'm sorry. I didn't want to say that. I'm glad your dad said it. Anybody that does this much good for the community, you have a target on your back now.
No, but he's been telling me for years. Like, he gave up. I think he gave up already. But he tells me all the time. He just called me last week. I think on Friday, I think he called me. He's like, te van a matar.
Te van a matar.
Te va a pasar lo que te pasó a Martin Luther King.
Yeah, dude, the same thing. I actually wrote it in my notes. Aren't you afraid? And I don't know if I was going to ask this question, but aren't you afraid you're going to get killed? Does that ever cross your mind? Seriously, I mean, because you got to understand there's a lot of hate going towards your way. And you're making a lot of noise.
Am I afraid? No. When I was growing up, we used to get in shootouts every day. So that back then, if I wasn't afraid back then, I'm not afraid now. But if it were to happen, I think it would be worth this time instead of me dying back in 06 doing dumb stuff, you know. But I know what I'm doing, you know. I know how to navigate, you know. So I do watch myself,
because you're not dumb. You're an
Yeah.
educated person. You went to college. You I don't know, what was your major in? You went to USC, right?
I worked at USC as a project director. I went to ELAC. I went to ELAC.
Yeah.
But what prepared me to be in these high positions at jobs, I worked for a nonprofit for 5 years. This man, Antonio Gonzalez, took me under his wing. And that man, I skyrocketed from there, bro. With that, what I learned there, when I worked at USC, everyone under me had masters. I didn't have that, you know?
So how do you make time for this? Because this is a completely another job, bro. Because I see you there 6 a.m. sometimes. Sometimes you're late at night. It doesn't matter. I see you in Vegas and you're in San Diego.
Yeah.
So basically, you're all the West Coast, covering coast to coast, just going up and down, just defending these people. So
I have the luxury of working from home, so I can literally be anywhere. So
you bought a little bot that just moves your little mouse.
Yeah,
while you're out there acting.
Nah.
Your boss doesn't.
Well, that's when I realized. I realized that a couple years ago, right, babe? I got sick. And I was in San Diego and me quedé toda la semana working. That's when I realized I could be anywhere. So with that, when a vendor me llama and I have to go there, I can go, you know?
That was my next question. How do they get a hold of you? Like if I'm a vendor and somebody did me wrong, how do I get a hold of you?
Like right now, I was running late here and I seen a street vendor a couple blocks away from here. I usually pull over. I talk to them. I give them a pepper spray. I get their phone number. A lot of these situations that I think the video that you shared today on the thing, I met that lady during Christmas. I was driving by with my girl. We were going to go do laundry. And I see her, I pull over. Oh, hola, señora, aquí le regalo unas cosas para Navidad. She gave me her number. A week later, she calls me crying. Hola, muchacho, este señor del restaurante me vino y me amenazó. Me dijo, oh, okay, ahí estamos.
Yeah.
That's how But
and you showed
it's
up.
either through there, Instagram, someone in the middle.
But you make the connection, right? You initially go up to them and say, here's my number. If something happens, you call me. I'll come and help you. Just send me the address.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. That is bananas, dude.
Yeah.
But that is great. So you just drop everything and go, I'm out?
Yeah, man. It's like I hate to put it in this perspective, but I told Wendy, it's like when one of your kids fall, you don't even think about it. You just go run and get
Now that you bring that up, because look, you're doing too much good that people are going to get bothered by it. For some reason, the people get bothered by it. Leaders come up and they voice their opinion and they see the hypocrisy in our society. And when you start pointing stuff out like that and you start rocking the boat, people don't like it. Mm-hmm. People in charge don't like it. And you go, look, he's not conforming to the norm. Why? How do we shut him up? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So not only is your integrity going to be in jeopardy, they're going to go after your family. They're going to go after your kids. Yeah. They can go after you. You can get hurt. They can go after your business. I can go just on your reputation. They can accuse you of things that are not true. And you're setting yourself out there for what?
Well, I think I'm hoping that was the worst. Back in 2016, Republicans and Trump supporters, they attacked me really bad. They pulled up my record. They made articles about me. Hey, this is a convicted felon. He's a gangster, this and that.
Was it all true, though?
Yeah, I'm a convicted felon. But at the end of the day, that was before I was doing this, So I told them, judge me from now till then, And this is another reason why I don't even drink alcohol. I have to stay polished because of what you just said.
Because you know that there's a big target on your back.
Yeah.
You understand, right?
Yes.
It comes with a big responsibility. That's huge.
Yeah.
So can I pry and ask you what happened? What happened in that felony, or what happened? How did you get incarcerated?
That's actually kind of like a form of activism too. I was a truck driver. So one day I go to the warehouse. The workers were indigenous. They were, most of them will speak Quiche, which is a native dialect, right? And one of the workers, se llamaba Panchito, he told me, hey, it's 5 p.m. No me dado mi break. Me gritan, I haven't ate. And it just kept happening. So I went in there. I cussed out the owners. And they tried to fire me. Me enojé mucho, but I stayed working there, And I was young and mad. So I would take a shipment every morning to one of their own stores. And I made copies of the keys, bro, and I just started coming up on them, Y people were wondering, porque yo sacaba todos los bodegueros, I would give them money, take them out to eat, mariscos y todo eso, until I got caught.
The Robin Hood of warehousing.
Yeah, dude. And I was robbing like expensive blankets and carpets, and we would give them away to children's hospitals and stuff like that. And it was dope, man. It was fun until it lasted, but I did pay the consequence,
So what did they give you for that?
I was convicted with the felony. I did some jail time. I was on probation for 3 years.
Was that tough for you? I mean,
I couldn't leave the county.
Really?
Yeah, I was in a strict I couldn't leave the LA county. I couldn't go to any other county.
So how does a felon like yourself end up working at USC? Or they don't know? Should we not tell them?
No, they know.
Okay.
They know. So the professor at USC, when he found out that I worked for Antonio Gonzalez, because he's very well known, he's like, you lasted 5 years with that guy? I was like, that guy's the most strict. Like, how did you last 5 years? Like, you must be good. And then he just... He knew. He looked me up. He knew about everything. When I sat down like this, he invited me to his house, and when he hired me, he knew. He knew.
Let me ask you a question. Do you get paid for this?
For the street vendor stuff?
Yes.
No, not at all.
So how do you?
Well, my job.
Give them pepper sprays, and how do you give them stuff?
My job, and then there's like I have a link tree on my bio. All the way to the bottom, there's like a PayPal thing, and no llega mucho, but for that. We invest in like pepper spray, body cameras, and just gas, because, yeah.
I told people I was going to interview you, and some of them said, le pagan, bro. Like, they pay him. Like, I'm pretty sure he's not making $1 million, bro. Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't take this podcast if he was making, Jeff Osteen and all these big preacher money. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure he's not making a ton of money. But even if you were making money, I told him a scenario that happened to me years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And it really bothered me till this day. And that's why when I saw you doing what you were doing, I was like, oh, fuck, that's great. I want to highlight this because it bothered me the fact that I got to the AM/PM that's here in the corner, and there's a guy screaming at everybody at the pump saying, "Don't pump gas here. The AM/PM owner here won't let this lady sell her flowers here. He kicked her out from the sidewalk. Yeah. Don't buy gas."
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there running late, and I don't want to be inconvenienced.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Now, I could have got in my car and I could have went across the street. There's the Chevron.
Yeah.
But I didn't because I'm selfish, because I needed to get somewhere.
Right.
Like, her problem is her problem. My problem is my problem.
Yeah.
And after I stopped pumping gas and I turned the corner and I saw the lady and I was waiting in that stoplight, it killed me, dude. It killed me inside to know that I did that to her. Like, I could have made a stand. I could have said, fuck it, not today. Not today. I'm not going to support her. And until this day, I still feel guilty that I didn't say no. And it was a guy screaming at us out of desperation. Like, stop, guys. Don't buy gas here. Fuck these guys. And I was like, oh, dude, I wish I could stand with you. And but so then I see a guy like you and I go, fuck it. I'll just donate to him. Let him do that work. Honestly, let you do that work and I will give you the money. Do you understand? Because if that gives me peace of mind, if that know that that'll take care of that lady, even if I give you $100, maybe it doesn't help that lady, but it helps another vendor. Good. And we pay it forward. But I understood that moment. Okay, if I don't want to be inconvenienced, but I still can't turn a blind eye to what the problem is. Yeah. So if there is somebody that's willing to work for it, willing to be the person that takes care of that, then I'm willing to pay for that. Oh. Just like we pay for the cops, just like we pay for the fire department, this is another service, us as people, as raza, that we understand is our own people selling this out there. As Latinos, we contribute. Why? Because he's willing to do it. And I guarantee you, if he had a budget, he can hire an army of people that can help him do this.
Yeah, and
does that make sense?
Yeah, that's hopefully in the future, man. Till this day, I've never gotten paid, but we just started a nonprofit. I haven't told anyone. We just started a nonprofit because what I noticed is that there's a lot of organizations, especially white-owned, are receiving millions to help street vendors, and they're not doing nothing. So we'll see what happens, but we're gonna make sure that we can expand. And I've worked in nonprofits before, and one thing that I am as a convicted felon, I've been a commissioner for 5 years. We have part of a board of another nonprofit called the Courage Youth Foundation. A mí me gusta to be transparent, and every penny counts, because I'm not going back to jail, bro. Like, I'm not.
See, I love people from prison. Yeah. You know why? You guys are the cleanest, most organized people I ever know. You follow the rules. There's a chain of command. I mean, if this is something that Ray Corona had said, he said, I tell the youth all the time, all of you knuckleheads that don't listen to nobody, don't listen to me. Okay, eventually you're gonna have to listen to somebody.
Touch the fire and you're gonna get burned.
Yeah, maybe not the guards, but you're definitely gonna listen to somebody in there. Yeah. Everybody listens.
Oh yeah, because when you're locked up, there's a lot of rules, and not even the guards set them; it's the own homies that set them. And
that's what he said.
If you don't follow them, you're not gonna go to sleep.
Oh no! Trust me, this is not happening. I see. I'm your daughter, right?
Yes.
So I'm meeting your daughter. Does it scare you? I mean, does it scare you to not be there in the future?
We already went through something one time. We tried not to take her with us as much, but one time we went to confront a guy who was antagonizing a street vendor, and he wouldn't let us leave. Me and her, he wouldn't let us leave his store for 40 minutes. We were literally kidnapped. I wasn't gonna push him because I didn't want him to say I pushed him.
Yeah.
We were there. Cops got there. He ended up getting arrested. That's the time I got arrested too. So
she was there with you while this was going on.
Yes.
So you said, hey, I'm sorry, your daughter's name?
Destiny.
So you go, hey, wow, the irony. His last name's Enamorado and her name is Destiny Enamorado. But this is great. So Destiny, you're there with your kid and you're about to confront somebody.
Yeah.
And this is okay. Wow, dude, that is bananas.
And I'm hoping she learns. Hopefully one day when she gets older, she can, help
put something
people.
on the door, make sure it doesn't lock. You learned. No. I learned with my dad. Keep the door open, sir. Keep the door open. That is crazy. That's kidnapping. He knew that, right?
Yeah.
Did he get arrested for kidnapping?
He because we didn't have, what was it? I think we didn't have video of that, and the guy was old and he didn't want to go, so he ended up dropping whatever. He was falsely accusing me, and I still have the paper. I think he got charged with battery and something else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I didn't push the issue because it's not like he was.
Oh no, he learned his lesson.
Yeah, he hasn't bugged them since.
Anybody that really scared you when you're out there, anything that's really scared you, a moment and when you said, I got to rethink this. Wow.
Yeah, not scared me, but like I told you, I know how to navigate things, and I'll be 100% transparent. Right now, there's 4 vendors that were attacked in South Central, and we found out who it was. I told my girl, I was like, this is something we gotta work this one a little different. This is a gang. I'm not gonna mention the name, but they're known to do home invasions. They've killed rappers, wealthy people, and at this point, this is where we send out the armed security with PPO licenses with guns. I don't go out there, but they go out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they patrol and make sure
they stay with right now. Yeah. As a matter of fact, Nando, shout out to Nando Gonzalez security team. They're going out there either tonight or tomorrow.
Oh, dude, thank you very much. Now, who pays these guys?
Nando, I've been knowing him for years. So when he goes out there, he does it voluntarily. But when it's like last minute, I pay out of pocket. Like, for example, we just paid his homie $180 for 6 hours.
Yeah,
they gave me like a $10 discount, but yeah.
But yeah, okay. This is what I want people to understand. There is a cost to all of this. Yeah. You understand? I mean, people can donate their time as much as they can, but at the end of the day, man, I mean, and I mean, like I said, you turn a blind eye, you're just part of the problem too. So, in what situation in that situation when you're dealing with a third party like that, like a gang, and we don't need to get into names. Yeah. Is it like the movies? Do you go up to the leader and you guys talk it out?
Yeah. So
is there a real leader?
Small world. Yeah. So small world. Oh, wow. Small world. My homie owns 2 barbershops in Las Vegas. Turns out that one of the OGs lives out there and he knows them. So we talked to him already when I was out in Vegas, and he's like, "All right, we're gonna go talk to the young cats and we're gonna
settle them down."
Yeah.
Okay. So that is awesome. See, that's something the cops will never be able to do. They won't have access to that. They're not going to talk to the cops. Yeah. Imagine if the gang was now affiliated with the cops and they were talking about protecting the street vendors. No, dude, it has to be a third party that doesn't have any vast interest in manipulating the situation or making it sure it's on their benefit. So you're just a third party, really just saying, hey, we protect these street vendors, guys? Yeah. Let's not mess with them. We get it. You have to do what you have to do, or you do what you do, but don't mess with these guys.
Yeah, and it's about building rapport. You can never build rapport with the hood if you're a cop.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. Why would you? Then you're a snitch. Then you're you know what I mean? You need that third party. Like, I'd rather talk to you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, who's going to pay for that? Because I'm not going to go talk to the gang guys. I'm telling you right now. We got a crazy fuck here. I'll do it. Bro, why would you do that? Because even then, if the gang doesn't like it.
Yeah.
And they take it personal. They go, hey. Yeah.
Well, good luck with finding where I live, Yeah. That's why nobody knows where I live. And
don't worry, we're gonna post it later, guys. We have, I'm just kidding. No.
Under the tab.
No. Yeah. That is bananas. So when you were working with this politician, what were you doing? Fundraising for him?
Bernie Sanders?
With Bernie Sanders?
So I had my own office in Oxnard, so I was in charge of, I think, 11 counties. So every day I was in charge of certain groups. So they would do phone banking. They would do phone calls. Each office would send out canvassers to go door knocking, let them know to vote for Bernie. We would manage budget. We would manage election day, what we would do. And manage the office. People would walk in and people wanted to volunteer. Mainly, it was a lot volunteer ran, and we would manage basically the staff and also volunteers that were going door knocking. And going back to what I said about me not having the credentials that most other people who were in my position have. When my first boss, I got hired to register people to vote, and I started breaking records. I think I registered 120 people in one day, and he was like, "What the heck?" I'm not religious. I stopped going to church when I was 15, but I grew up Jehovah's Witness. And right there, ever since I was a baby,
I
learned how to door knock, give speeches.
You know how to put the foot in there.
Yeah, when he found out, he was like, "Oh, you have a lifetime of experience. No wonder you're hired. You're gonna be managing, and that's what I make a living out of." Bro. Now I'm at home. We manage political campaigns, and last year I'm at home. I have an app. I know where everyone's walking, and then I've caught people not working and stuff like that. So that's what I do. My mom's Jehovah's Witness. We basically do the same thing. I manage people going door knocking and making phone calls, and my mom still they taught me. It's transferable skills. Like I'm doing what I was taught since I was a baby.
In this, what you're doing now and what you did in the past, it really lent itself to in the future. I hope you do this full time, man. I really hope we can help to notch people to donate. I'm gonna donate, but I want people to donate, and you build this thing to the point where we don't have to worry about our vendors out there getting mugged or being robbed or being hurt. And there is somebody that's organizing this, that's already organized other things, that has the capabilities of doing it.
And just today, dude, I was like an hour ago, I got a message. I haven't even opened it yet. It's in my request box. This person said, you know, I was scared to go back to selling in the street, but knowing that you're out there, like I feel brave enough now. Like that almost got me a tear, bro. Like that was like, damn, like that's what we're doing it for, you know. So we just want to expand it. And
can I ask you a question? I as I was researching you and stuff like that, I also came across a video of people in Mexico City. I know this is not a problem, but their problem says, señora, por favor, es que se puso su puesto enfrente de mi casa y toda mi casa huele a barbacoa todos los días. Usted cocina barbacoa afuera y todos los vendors ya se pusieron aquí se hizo popular y ya todos quieren vender aquí. Todas las casas ya huelen a chicharrón verde acá es barbacoa. Dice, toda la ropa, todo. Oye, tiene que haber un límite en lo que van a... What I just explained is that they're complaining because there are food vendors right outside their door that the smell just penetrates into their house. Now they can't find parking anywhere because now all these street vendors set up outside of our house. Like, I have strangers coming and knocking on my door. Can I use your bathroom? I'm like, no, this is not a part of the vendor. Like, this is my house. Like, you don't get to use the bathroom. So they start peeing on the side of my house.
Dang. That's happening in Mexico?
This is happening in Mexico. People are going to start worrying, dude, when does it stop? You understand? That's what scares people out there, that if we don't put a stop to this, if we don't talk about this, what happens at the end? Are we going to have street vendors right outside our house? Because they're going to argue that.
Well, we have to ask ourselves why in our society people resort to street vending. Our economy has a lot to do with it. We have the largest wage gap between the rich and the poor compared to any other country. And if that continues going, people are going to have to resort to because basically, bro, like street vendors are restaurants experiencing homelessness. That's what it is.
Yes, but that still didn't answer my question. My question is this. I own a home.
Right.
Do you understand? I work really hard at what I do. And now you're telling me that because people are broke, it's okay for them to set up in front of my house and start selling barbacoa.
What
you see what I'm saying?
As far as the Mexico issue,
meaning, what if that starts happening here? Meaning the laws start getting a little less strict. Right. They're more lenient now. Everybody gets a permit now. Let's let everybody sell. What stops my neighbor from just dragging out his food cart in front of his yard and start selling every single day? And his excuse is, I'm broke. And I'm like, I'm not. Why should I suffer now? Why should... And the across the street says, well, if he's selling, I'm selling too.
Well, if it gets to that problem, that's why we're focusing on community events. Each city only allows like around 3 community events every 3 months. So if we expand that to have more community events where we can have safe spaces for vendors, they won't be selling outside of your house. And also a limit on caps.
Now parks. Parks is a great place to let vendors. Okay, you're broke. Make that the place where you sell. And I go with my family, and I will support anything that you're selling out. Eat it. Trust me, I'm gonna eat a lot. But don't put it in front of my house. Does that make sense? Like there has to be those guidelines where we got to think ahead and go, okay, guys, because could people take advantage of this situation? Yes. I mean, we're looking at what's going on in Pico. I mean, literally, everybody has a stand now.
Where?
I'm Pico.
Pico Union?
Pico Union. Everybody now has a stand. I mean, if you go there, dude.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay. And everybody has something to sell because they already stole it from the Rite Aid. And they put it out. And I get it. It's the hustle. I get it. And the bigger problem is there's poverty, but there's always going to be poverty. There's always going to be poor people.
But not as much as here. Like I explained to you, where we need to focus. When we focus on that, when are we going to focus on all the billionaire companies that are taking advantage of the system? We're living in a country where trillions are getting thrown into offshore accounts. When you invest in a street vendor, that money gets recycled in that community. When you invest it in Amazon, that money ends up in Italy. You know, that's why our economy is so messed up. And I understand what you're saying, but we should also focus on who's really milking this system.
I get it, but still, there is no regulation in Pico Union. Is that correct also?
I think, well, when it comes to that, I've organized markets like that, and where each one has their space. But that's why once we pass these laws where they can have their permits through a home enterprise kitchen, then they can actually choose where they want to go. Because sometimes they end up choosing this not red zone, like a green zone. Okay, you guys can only sell in this area, but everywhere else they can't sell. If we change that, then they can spread out, and you don't have these situations going on. You understand what I'm saying?
It's not saturated. Yeah. Okay, nothing guarantees that's what's gonna happen.
I mean,
it could just be bigger now.
For example, right now,
nothing guarantees.
For example, the city of Southgate, the city of Downey. There's all these cities that allow zero street vending, zero whatsoever. So that's why these street vendors go to these green zones, because they can't go. These other cities have to understand that street vending is a part of our culture. Street vending is an international way of living. And
yeah, look, I agree. But I think if we put street vendors, for example, I don't mind the guy that's walking by with his elote cart.
Yeah.
Good. I don't mind those, because you know what? They're willing to walk and get that business. God bless them.
Yeah.
But when we start setting up shop everywhere, for example, if you are going to set up shop, okay, then make it the parks, and let's encourage people to go there. Not only that, opportunities, training, seminars, anything we can do for the community, that's great. And let's have food vendors there. Let's have them set up the barbacoa there at the park.
Right now we have over 80 vendors selling at Pico Rivera Sports Arena. Those are my friends. We helped them when they got kicked out from Avenue 26 in Lincoln Heights. But these organizers, they took it upon themselves. Like Louis, they went and they found spots, and now they are all selling safely inside the arena, bro.
And Pico Rivera?
Yeah, Pico Rivera.
Yes. See, that I can get behind 100%. Eat at your own risk. You know what you get. Don't estás comiendo Pico Rivera, carnal. Relax.
It's more of a risk to eat at Taco Bell, I'll tell you that.
That is true. At least we know where that came from. The other one, we don't know.
Yeah, I've seen those videos, Domino's, all these employees spitting on their food. I was like, you can never know.
All right. So, do you see this? What's the future of this? Where do you see this going? And does it have a name? Like, what do you call this? Like, does it have a branding? Is it a movement?
Well, now we do have a name. It's called UVA. Unión de Vendedores Ambulantes. And in English, it's Union of Vendors Association.
UVA.
Yeah. And I see this, us being like somewhere, like you said, something that they can rely on. My girlfriend does amazing work. She does security not only for marches and protests, but she does security for vendors. But what she does best is the emotional support that she gives these women, man. Last year there was a street vendor who was killed in front of his 7-year-old daughter, and my girl and his wife have been really close, man. It doesn't matter if it's 2 a.m., 3 a.m. My girl's out there, and she not only shows, but she feels it. She feels that empathy. She relates to it, and she can feel that pain. And I think that's something that's super important. And what I see it 5 years from now, I want to have success stories, man. I want to be able to come and tell you, like, look, like in New York, we went to New York last year, and Amelia, she street vended for 20 years, bro. She got arrested 18 times. We were there, bro, for her opening of her first restaurant. And now she's sponsored, I think, by like the MLB. I want that. I want to be able to have these stories, because during the pandemic, man, a lot of restaurants closed down. There was a Mr. Ardiaz, I forgot the name, in East LA. Bomb tacos, man. They had to close down during the pandemic, and they haven't been able to open up. But that's where I see it. That's where I see. I want to be able to have success stories like that.
I like it, man. Yeah. I think it's great. I think the fact that you're unionizing it, I mean, you're putting it together, and you gave it a name now, Uva, and the symbolism behind it, con Cesar Chavez, no a las uvas, but now we're saying yes to Uva.
Yes to uvas.
Yes to uvas. Oh my God, I love that.
Because a lot of people look up to Cesar Chavez, and I don't hate him, but he did say things. He called us wetbacks, know. But at the end of the day, it was a different time. I guess whatever, he was old school. But I want the newer generation, like her generation and her generation that follows her. I want them to be able to hold me accountable for what I did and to do better, right? Yeah. So I guess it is symbolic, that we are going against that. Yeah.
Now I'll tell you this though, Cesar Chavez. A lot of people give him grief for that, but when you're trying to create a union, and
you got to recognize it.
You understand? Like he said, hold on, guys. Let us get unionized and it'll be better for all of us. But there was a lot of people going, no, I want it to be better for me now.
I just think the wording, the way he was condescending toward, that was the bad part. But
well, I mean, because they're destroying his union too. I mean, you understand the frustration when you're trying to unionize and then they go, well, we don't need you. We got more of you guys coming.
Yeah.
So it's really tough when you're plugging one hole and then there's another one and then there's another one. And you go, guys, it's for the best that we don't, guys, relax, guys. Oh, come on.
Yeah, no, but just he shouldn't use that word. And second of all, that's not even, that's an issue that, till this day, I said it this morning, our raza, the majority are native to this continent, bro. And honestly, esta frontera europana, that should not apply to us.
Okay. Yeah. And I agree with you. Yes, it was. Mexican territory, it was.
Not just that, it was native.
Even before Mexico.
New Spain.
Spain came in. So we're going to go back and back and back and back. At the end of the day, we weren't there, and I always believe there's two sides to the story. Mm-hmm. I'm not defending Mexico, and I'm not defending the U.S., because I wasn't there, and I don't know what the arguments.
But we're affected by it now.
Both people. No, we're affected because we want the line to be more this way.
Okay. No, we're affected by it because of generational wealth. Like, for example, Wells Fargo, Aetna, these major corporations that you see everywhere, they were developed by slave owners. So when you have these major corporations, you have inheritances. When you have white people, and you also have white people in Mexico, when you have these inheritances and your descendants are well off, and meanwhile, the majority of indigenous side, a lot of us don't have that. I don't know how you grew up, but I didn't have an inheritance.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this though: there are people in Mexico with generational wealth.
Yeah, that's why.
Okay. So in Mexico, they have generational wealth. Here, they have generational wealth.
Yeah.
Just like there's white people that don't have any money. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Just like there's Mexicans that don't have any money.
But it's a small percentage. Yeah.
Regardless of the percentage, both countries have people that are broke in their own native land. What I'm talking about is this. They lost the war against the U.S. because there was a fight. I don't know, they both sides killed. Remember the Alamo? Remember all of that? Remember the
for example, the owner of Hollywood, right? Uh-huh. The owner of Hollywood was Raza. He was Mexican. And after the war, they told him, you can keep your land, right? Mm-hmm. But they still did all these shady shit that he ended up having to sell his land because he had to pay back for the lawyers because he had to fight so much to keep his land. All this displacement. And if you really, really look at the history, look, I'm not saying like, look, let's just put our arms crossed and let's not do nothing because, of what happened before. Yes, we have to work harder. And as people like me and people like us, we have to work twice as harder than someone who has generational wealth, right? I'm not saying just to stay there, but we're trying to level the playing field because when you look at our prison, for example, how they target black and browns so much at 5 times the rate. And for example, there's the studies that when they come out, it shows that white people consume more drugs, commit more crime, but yet the ones that are getting convicted are black and brown people at 5 times the rate. It's these inequalities that are still happening till this day.
And I'll tell you, you're absolutely correct. Mm-hmm. And I love the fact that you brought up generational wealth because I preach that to every friend of mine. I say, dude, here it is. It is nobody's responsibility to make your family better for the next generation. It is your responsibility. It is not up to the government to give me something. It is not for anybody to give me a handout. It's for me to work hard and create this generational wealth. I need to look at the well-being of my family. And I think if we all concentrated on our family, I don't believe in dwelling on the past. I believe in what changes I make now, what kind of father I am now to my daughter so she understands I am going to make you a good human being. So when you grow up, my daughter will have the opportunities I didn't get because I set it up that way. Yeah.
But it's also our duty to make it easier for the next generation because
I agree.
The ones getting the handouts are these these corporations that puppeteer the government and they're the ones getting trillions of handouts, paying no taxes. So I think I agree with you 100%. Focus on our families, use capitalism towards our advantage to lift our families out of poverty, but at the same time, make it easier for the next generation because there's big inequalities in wages, especially for black and brown people.
Yes. And for me, I really believe is this. The change happens at home. The change happens with the guidance of a good father to teach you morals, ethics, teach you what's right, what's wrong, what to be proud of. What you're teaching your daughter is great. You're teaching her how to be proud of her skin, how to be proud of who she is. You're teaching her that she has a voice, that nobody's going to shut her up. those things, you're embedded into this young girl. Yeah. I'm doing the same thing with my daughter. That's what we all, as parents, if we all did, as Latinos, come into this country with a mentality of, I get it. Y me dice muy fácil, la señora me dice, because I've told ladies, I do these presentations at these companies, and the lady told me, ay, señor, qué bonito habla usted, pero qué bien, ¿no? Porque usted va a su casita, usted nomás sale un ratito y ya se viene a su casa, que uno viene y le chinga todo el día. Yeah. Trabaje 8 horas al día, todo y llega y le chinga y tiene que cocinar, lavar, echar de comer y no duerme hasta las 10 de la noche y los levantarse otra vez a las 6 de la mañana a chingarle de nuevo. Muy fácil abrir y que el cambio y que eso y que el otro. I said, your machine is the overlock. Mm-hmm. Your machine goes tac-tac, 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 tac-tac. The reason I know that machine makes that noise because I used to sleep underneath the one my mom used to work in down the street here in Santa Fe. Golden Mattress. Look it up. I know what my mom had to do so I can come here and just hold a microphone and just talk to you guys. Yeah. But I had to change that for the next generation. Meaning if I changed my future, my dad told me I did as best as I could with the little education that I had. And right. I'm glad that you guys came out okay. Now my future now is not to go backwards. It's now how do I make it even better for my daughter? But don't get mad at me if right. somebody's actually making sense. It's not that we haven't suffered. We suffered. We understood. You have to move forward too. Now, I'm sorry.
Work smarter, not harder, because our parents were stuck in the hustle culture and they worked from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. and they never got rich.
No.
You know, so we have to work smarter and, like I said, make it easier for the next generation and try to fight this inequality, man. Like I said, it's getting bad. It's getting bad, but like I agree with what you're saying. We have to work twice as hard and to at least help out our next generation, you know. Our
yeah,
kids.
and set examples like this. I think, I mean, this is something that I hope I can show my daughter later on. My daughter actually she came to me and says, Daddy, I want to make a lemonade stand. I don't know if you've seen the video, but I go, Mija, we're Mexican. We don't sell lemonade. We sell fruit. So we're having a fruit stand. So I took it upon myself. Yeah. And this is what I mean about being present and being a dad. A lot of people congratulate me.
Was that you with the little cart?
Yes. That was me.
You? Oh, what the heck?
That was me, bro.
Then you created like a mini fruit stand. Oh, okay, that was dope.
Yes. That was me and my dad. So what I did is this. This is what I mean with it doesn't cost anything to be a good dad. Yeah. It took this summer for me and my daughter and my father-in-law, her grandfather. We put together this fruit cart because she wanted to know what it's lemonade. I said, no, we do fruit. We're Latino. And we set up a little stand, and I had softball on Sundays. And we would set up the little stand, and she would sell her cut fruit. But what I wanted her to learn is economics, overhead, how to put away her money, how to reinvest. Everything. Like, okay, mija. And we did the whole, I took her to the entire transition of selling. And then people started sending me. So I said, no, guys, this is not about money. And I'm not going to be famous being the fruit guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? This is just to teach my daughter not only self-sufficiency. Yeah. Be proud you worked hard. Mm-hmm. And second, don't be embarrassed. If you see people selling out in the street, that's something to be proud of. Don't be embarrassed. You see a street vendor, good. I did that too.
Yeah.
I did that.
It's motivational. That's all we have to do. Motivate our kids and spending time with that. That's amazing. I think you're a great dad. That's something that a lot of people don't take into account.
That's great, dude. So these big events now, I want to be a part of it. Now that the summer's here, then we can sell fruit. I want to do that, man. I want to bring my daughter over.
Yeah, we're planning a big one in the summer. So
are you?
Yeah.
Bro, I will be part in there. I'm gonna bring because I'm doing all these mini vendors. Yeah. So a ver un elote lady, that's her cousin. She's gonna have her elote stand and she's gonna sell esquites. But these are miniature like carts. Wow. Like shopping carts. So it's everything miniature. So we're gonna have a taquero, we're gonna have frutas, we're gonna have elotes, we're gonna have raspadero, we're gonna have everything. Dude. So
bring the virgin micheladas too. I love
the virgin micheladas. Oh, dude, that's a good idea.
You should have that. Yeah, I like those. Yeah, very good. That would be dope.
That is great. So tell me a little bit about this event. Not that. I'm really curious about what happened because I was researching through your Instagram and your TikTok, the organization in New York. Tell me about what's going on with that. What beef is going on with that?
So CPC is based in LA, but they're under an organization in New York called
CPC?
CPC Colectivo.
Okay. What do they do?
I don't know what they do. Okay. All I've heard is bad things about them. I haven't heard one vendor they've actually helped. They don't even have like you go to their page, they don't even have one video like, oh, Maria, we helped Maria, now she has a restaurant. They got millions of dollars, bro. They don't have one story like that. Anyways, 2 years ago or a year ago, a vendor had died. He got hit by an Amazon truck. So we held a vigil. A lot of people came. And then this organization just came and took over, bro. They took the mic and they're like, they made it their own. I don't, as much as people think I like the limelight, bro, I don't give a fuck. Like, I was in the back, my girl, and we had a mayor right there. And she's like, Eden, go over there. You know, who are they? You know, I was like, it's cool, whatever. And then a Spanish station came and then they interviewed the vendor. An English station came and they interviewed me. And then some guy comes and pulls me to the side. Hey, bro, let the vendors do the interviews. You're getting too much attention. And I'm like, bro, it's an English channel. They don't speak English. What are you talking about? And ever since then, bro, this guy has just been, this guy, Sergio, he's a director of CPC Colectivo. The thing is this, man. This is what my dad says. This man has been doing it longer, and he feels that should be me. That should be me right there. I'm the one that should be getting all the attention, not this guy. Who the fuck is this guy, you know? And ever since then, it's just been bad, bro. And then there was another victim that took her like 2 weeks to get a hold of me. She got a hold of me. She's like, hey, this guy Sergio, I know he knows you. He didn't give me your number. And turns out that this organization would do GoFundMes, keep the money, and they'll give a small portion to the vendors. I make sure they don't like me, bro, because I come and I create a GoFundMe for them, and I make sure only they have the password, the vendor, and everything goes straight to them. Mm-hmm. And they don't like that.
Oh,
they don't get a little chunk off of that.
Okay, so you're disturbing the norm, bro.
Yes, and then now they send out text messages like, don't support this protest on Tuesday. That's not us. This guy doesn't know.
Is he funded by a government agency? Is he
funded? Oh yeah, they get grants from government, bro.
Okay. So that's the Uncle Sam the Uncle Tom that they said, okay, aquí te vamos a dejar, bro. Yeah. You keep this. Aquí, control this area, and we're good. I'm going to pay you, and I'll give you a grant every year. Your job is just to
What's the government doing about it? Yeah. Well, we gave $3 million to this organization, and that's it.
But he has a job.
Yeah.
It goes back to the problem. Even Joe Rogan said it. If we get rid of the homeless people, we're going to get rid of a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's where he fell into now. That organization falls into that category. Well, if we don't have any problems or vendors, I mean, we
don't have a job. Yeah, that's why we have the issue right here in LA too, where where's the money going? That's supposed to be helping our homeless population.
Yeah,
it's the same thing, bro.
It is lo que te digo. Yeah. But they're not being transparent. ¿Por qué no les conviene?
If you Google CPC Colectivo, none of their finances pop up because they found a loophole. They're under this New York one, so nothing. Solo sale ahí the money, but it doesn't show what they used it for. Nothing, bro. It's the scam.
But listen, it's politics. It's politics, and within politics, all they want to do is everybody wants to take the credit. Everybody wants to smile for the picture. Everybody wants to say, look what I did, look what I did, look what I did. And that's it. Dude, I've been around politics so much now that I've been like, oh, the sleaziness of it. Yeah. Like the two-face of it.
That's why I made up my mind like 6 years ago. I was like, I'm not going to run for office. That's too fake to me, man.
It's tough.
Fake. All these politicians, they take credit for stuff that was already gonna happen. Yeah. Like, we opened a new park today.
And they rush to go do it. Yeah. I mean, they can't wait to put their face in. And I've seen it where I hosted city events. Mm-hmm. And the city council member and the mayor's there, y todos están lambiéndose los huevos, todos, güey. Yeah. Ay, oh my God, 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 oh my God. And everybody wants to have the microphone, and everybody wants to thank everybody. And I want to thank, and I want to thank, and my turn to thank, and I want to thank. I'm like, dude, can we get off so we can finish this program? Dude, everybody wants to thank, and everybody wants to have the microphone. Relax, and those are politicians.
Meanwhile, everything's burning down.
Yeah, that is bananas.
That's how it works,
dude.
Man. And it all has to do with this program called Citizens United that allows, if you're a billionaire, it allows you to fund any politician without a limit. So that's why now we don't even have a government anymore, bro. We have these 4 men who are behind the scenes puppeteering everything.
So at the end of the day, if you know you control nothing, why not control what you can control?
Exactly. Yeah.
Your environment, your city, your community. Meaning, okay, I already know that the government's not going to help me. Mm-hmm. So I'll find somebody like you. I'll give you money. Now you go help me. Now you go help them. Go fix this problem.
Yeah, and hold us accountable too. Hold us accountable. And so the thing with us is that we're 100% transparent, and then we'll do it.
You know what hurt, bro, and it deterred me from giving to homeless people? I was at a Pollo Loco. Mm-hmm. And I was eating, and I was going to school at the time, and I was working as an intern, as an engineer, and I'm like eating, and I see this guy walking around, and he's asking for change. And he comes to my table and he says, hey, si me da dinero, can I have some money? I'm really hungry, this and that. I was like, all right. So I eat $3 and some change. And I kept eating. And he sits in the corner of the restaurant, and he doesn't know that I'm still there eating. And he's counting his money. And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, when I'm done with my lunch, I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to buy him a lunch. I'm telling him to keep the money. Right? Then I hear, hola, tío. Hola, mija. ¿Cómo estás? Bien, tío. ¿Cómo estás? Salió la lady that's working El Pollo Loco, sat right in front of him, and they started chit-chatting.
Oh, his
niece
was
working there.
Oh, damn.
And I'm like, are you bullshitting me? Did you just come with a sob story that I'm hungry? And I was like, you motherfucker.
Who knows?
And I feel so cheated because I'm still eating there. Even the food started hurting. I was like, man, I don't even want to eat here no more. But there's moments that you feel like, fuck it, it's all bullshit. But at the end of it, it's not. It's not other people should pay for that guy's assholeness. Yeah. You know what I mean? The fact that.
I mean, right now, I think when I got exposed to what the wealth, the 1% is doing in this country, those are the ones that are ruining us, man. It's
But that's their job.
Nah, man.
That's no. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna ruin us. How do we protect ourselves? Es que yo no puedo chillar porque me están pegando.
Yeah.
I need to act now. It is no, I'm gonna wait to see how much more I can take a beating. It takes people like you, people like me, to give microphones to people like us to fucking talk about it.
Yeah.
Meaning, if the 1%ers are not gonna help you, then help yourself. You see what I'm saying?
That's why we gotta change the system. We gotta find a way to change the system, and it's possible. You know.
How do you motivate people that to vote? Meaning, how do I convince mi tía Conchita, who's tired, has been working all day, and has to come and cook dinner, y que le importe, güey? Because you carry a lot, bro. I don't know how you do it mentally. The fact that you worry about all these vendors, I couldn't do it. It'd be exhausting to me.
Yeah.
So how do you motivate them to do that?
I always say this story. There's, the 710 freeway in right there. I live in Cudahy, so in Cudahy there's a 710 freeway, and the 710 freeway was supposed to go all the way to Pasadena, but they stopped it in El Sereno. You know why they stopped it?
Right now, why they haven't finished it?
Well, they're not gonna finish it. But do you know why they stopped it? They stopped it years ago. This is decades ago. They stopped the freeway.
I have no idea.
There. Well, because the white people who lived in those neighborhoods, they found out that the carbon monoxide and all the bad consequences of your health by living next to a freeway, and they voted, they organized, and they stopped it. That's why you have freeways in poor communities, and you don't have them in Beverly Hills. You don't have them. When you vote. And I'm not saying that voting is gonna save your problem. I mean, there's corruption, but voting, like what they did, you're able to get, you're able to have representation. And then another reason, that's one thing. What they were able to do, put a stop to, that's power. You know, they wanted to save their health. You know, the other thing is that activists like myself, they fought for years. There was a time where women couldn't vote. There was a time when Mexicans couldn't vote or blacks couldn't vote. We're doing a disservice to those activists by not voting, but not only just not only just voting, bro, but just getting engaged in your community. That's important, and especially si es ciudadana. You know how many people? Bro. I'll tell you straight up right now. I'm not a citizen. I'm a U.S. resident, and because of the cases that I had in the past, and luckily they were not violent. Luckily they were not something that could have got me deported. I was not. I wish I could vote.
Yeah.
You know, and do it for us. Do it for people like me, like who don't have that.
So the real reality of this is you haven't said anything that motivates Doña Conchita because Doña Conchita is selfish.
Yeah.
Because Doña Conchita is just like me at that AM PM. You're thinking of yourself, ay, qué pinche batalla. That's really what's going on. Ay, qué pinche, qué lata. Okay. Here's where you would benefit, because nobody does anything if it's not in their best interest.
Well, that benefits her. If she's worried about herself, if she's worried about, if there's an encampment next door and she doesn't like people experiencing homelessness, well, if you were to vote, they can have more funding for housing, and then that you won't have these issues. It benefits you, because if you don't vote, then those white supremacists that live next door or wherever, they're the ones that are gonna dictate what happens in your community.
Yeah. And that's really what I want Doña Conchita to understand. The problem's not going to go away. Señora, si usted no va a votar, esto no va a cambiar. Así como van cambiando las leyes, poco a poco el gobierno va a seguir abusando de nuestra raza. ¿Por qué? Porque nosotros nos hacemos, ¡ay, qué hueva! ¡Ay, yo no quiero ir! Esa es la actitud que tomamos. Y se lo estoy diciendo en español para que me entiendas. Si no me entiendes, se lo estoy diciendo en español. Tiene que ir porque al final del día, ¿qué dijimos hace ratito? Tenemos que mejorar nuestra situación para nuestra siguiente generación. Señora, le estoy pidiendo un día.
En
4 años.
She don't even have to go anywhere. You can vote by mail.
Ahí está.
Yeah.
Por correo y usted ni lo tiene que leer. No,
Sí.
mijo, ahí píquele aquí, dígale allí. A ver, enséñame en el TikTok quién es este. Y enséñame en el TikTok quién es este. Es todo, pero ¿por qué nos conviene? Porque al final del día, a eso vinimos, señora, a mejorarnos. Entonces, si va a seguir viviendo en las mismas condiciones que vivimos viviendo por varios años, entonces no está haciendo nada. ¿Cómo le conviene a usted? Así su hija tiene una oportunidad de ir a la universidad, quizás le dan más becas a los latinos, más oportunidades, más préstamos en negocios que nos crean más, tener una voz que si no queremos que pase el freeway, que yo también no quiero freeway, but we get to this point.
Yeah.
The mayor goes, yes, but Taco Bell, Jack in the Box, Burger King, all of these fast food joints and all these liquor stores gave us money for the city. Chamber of Commerce, they come and that's why we have these programs for the city.
Right.
But why is it that they can do it in Beverly Hills without shoving a Jack in the Box, Burger King, and a liquor store and all of that into our community? Because diabetes, it happens because of that. You understand? It's a lot cheaper for me as a mother to go down Jack in the Box and get burgers for my kids than go to Trader Joe's and get fruit.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm talking about voting. Your community is all fucked up because your city representatives are selling themselves out to these fast food joints. They're selling themselves out to these fucking people that are willing to pay. Yeah. And you go, damn, why do we have so many liquor stores, church, fast food joint?
This is what I always say, too. I wish politicians would walk around like those NASCAR drivers with a jacket with all the donors. Tell me who donates to your campaign, and I'll tell you who you are.
Yeah. Who? Because there's somebody making money here. Yeah. Somebody's making money, not us.
Yeah, like when Joe Biden was running for president, when I found out that he was getting funded by the ICE detention centers, I was like, oh shit, nothing's gonna fucking change.
Oh, bro,
these kids they're gonna put more kids in cages. They're gonna deport more people, and I seen it before it all happened. Like, and especially with Obama too. When I found out that he was getting funded by all these, I was like, man, nothing's gonna change. You know, it's the same. It's la misma moneda. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So even if it's in a smaller scale, it's refreshing to know that you're willing to be transparent. You're willing to help these people at no cost so far to anybody else, just donation. So you can count on me.
Thank you.
I want to do this. I want to champion a charity. As I get more popular and I start growing, I'm going to start choosing charities that I want to get involved with. One of them is going to be you. Let's put together an event, bro. Let's put a comedy event. And I'm going to ask the comedians to come and help me. And if we do it at Pico Rivera, we have all the vendors there.
Yeah.
We'll set up the stage, and I'll talk to Carlos Mencia. I'm gonna commit you to that, Carlos. See if Carlos Mencia is willing to donate his time too.
There you go.
And come down and do a show for you guys.
For the UVA charity.
UVA charity. I'm serious. Yeah. And use that money, pump gas, bro, and buy a nice car. And it's okay. And you know why I want you to do it? Because I'm not gonna do it. Yeah. Do you understand? And I want you to use that money to go buy more the pepper sprays, and I want you to get them, if there's schools that are willing to donate, for example, self-defense classes. I saw that you actually got a school that can actually donate.
It's a boxing club, Bad Boys Boxing. They do self-defense for free.
Perfect.
Vendors, yeah.
Do you understand, guys? That's all we're asking, for them to have a fighting chance. Even if they go to 3-4 times, and that's enough for them to know how to get away, or maybe scratch and run, or how to ask for help, whatever. So, but you can count on me. Let's do it. I want to do a charity event. I want to do a comedy show where all the proceeds go to you guys. As a matter of fact, you just put us on the lineup. I will plug the shit out of it. We'll sell a ton of tickets for this thing.
Thank you, man. And right now we're collaborating with Revolution Cards, and shout out to Matt and Richard. We want to expand those community events to get these vendors to be at safe spaces and be able to have all their permits. Yeah. So if you get sick, you'll be able to sue the union. There you go.
Perfect. Because that way I don't want you to have excuses. Yeah. No, because we're gonna get sick. Okay, well now we have an insurance.
There you go.
That's the deal. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming,
thank
bro.
you for inviting me, man.
I'll give them all your social media accounts, and please donate, guys. There is I brought you a little gift. I don't know if there's a shirt. Is there a black T-shirt somewhere? No, the one that you moved right now. That one's, you can keep it in the bag. I'm trying to get you a large, but I'll get you another one when. But I want you to wear this when you're with the vendors, bro. And when I get there to the event, I'm gonna sell these, and these are gonna go straight. Everything we make from this will go straight to the vendors and helping them. A los culos no les hacen corridos. One day, bro, they're gonna make a corrido out of you, bro. You're definitely not a culo, bro. You're definitely gonna get a corrido. So I'll be selling these guys at the vendor event. So thank you very much once again, man. A pleasure having you, bro.
Likewise, man. Thank you for inviting me.